Hi everyone, thank you for joining us here. We are so excited and so amazed by your feedback. And what we want to do today is to tell you a bit about ourselves and what was our motivation to do this video or to do this project. And what happened in the next steps and what we expect from you.
Cool. Okay. So maybe let's begin with who we are. I'm Ken. Nice to meet you, everyone. Um, Sandra over here, and so we live in Berlin. And I think what's worth mentioning at this point is that we're not doctors, and also we don't have a business running this currently. We're hoping to one day maybe turn this into a book or something, but right now all we are is private people that have to deal with endometriosis and want to make it better and thereby help other people like you out, and that's kind of who we are. So maybe about our motivation, maybe that's worth
Yeah.
chatting
Short,
about.
a quick story about myself. I'm 27, and in my working life, I'm a process manager and working for an IT company. And my endometriosis was diagnosed last year in May. But I have lots of pain since December 2014, and it took a while to get a doctor who has an idea or knows what endometriosis is. So I had my lab last year, and most of the endometriotic implants were removed, but not all of them. And my doctor tells me it's better to use hormones to get rid of the implants. But it only got worse, and I got really depressed. So I decided after 6 months using the hormones that I want to quit and just try other things.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, so one aspect that's maybe worth mentioning here is as well that endometriosis quite obviously is not something that only strikes that one person that's involved. There's always a couple issue, and it brings along all kinds of side issues in a relationship, and also as your partner, you obviously want to help and want to do something, and that is something that in the case of endometriosis, it's really hard to see, see somebody suffering from pain, and you can't really do anything. So that is also one of the reasons why, I was intrigued by nutrition or food being a potential source of help. So that's something that I can actually do. That's something that I can actually get involved with, and so that's something that I'm really excited about. Also, I'm through this whole phase, we discovered that we really have a shared passion for cooking and making good food, and kind of doing your body something good, basically.
And it has a positive effect on our relationship because we have something which we can do together and create something new
Mm.
and try different things and cook together, chat,
Hmm.
and afterwards sit together and talk
Mm.
or and enjoy dinner. So most of the time when I have this pain episodes, I'm trying to avoid Ken because I'm not feeling well and I'm not want to confront him with the pain. So the cooking helps us to come together and chat.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's something that it helps with communication, and that's what matters. Whenever you have something that you just deal with alone, it's so much more difficult than kind of sharing and being able to go through it together as a couple. So moving on, something that I want to talk about is expectations. So we have found out that by nutrition or with the help of nutrition, we can actually help people with endometriosis, and it really worked for Sandra, to relieve many of the symptoms. That being said, what we're not saying is that nutrition is the holy grail, and is going to cure you 100% of all symptoms of endometriosis. As it varies with every person, and as many women that after being pregnant don't have any symptoms, there are equally as many women that do have symptoms after having been pregnant, and the same is true for nutrition. So don't treat this as the holy grail, but what we're after is improving your life, is improving the symptoms and going step by step, and kind of being able to do something about endometriosis, help with the symptoms, little by little. I think that's important.
Yeah, when we first started to get some information in the internet about endometriosis and therapy options, we can't found much. We found a lot, but most of the things are depressing and tell you there's no healing. I've read a lot of German books, but they're not that good. So I tried an English written book, and it's from Diane Shepperson, A Key to Healing and Fertility Through Nutrition. And it was really inspiring. And yeah, the book is the reason why we started to think about nutrition and try to help me during the nutrition.
Right, right. I mean, so many of the blog posts that you might have read, or many of the things, basically tell you about all the things that you can't do. When you have endometriosis, it's all about you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that and you should watch out for that, and it's all really, really depressing. And I think food is something that I have always and will always enjoy no matter what. It's something that I find really, really satisfying, and something that I love, and through nutrition, being something that actually helps you with endometriosis, I think that's a great idea. That being said, in terms of expectations, one thing I'd like to add is, for us, this whole thing with you guys is to learn. It's all about learning from each other. We are, at a point where we have had, where we have discovered some insights that really worked for us really well. But what we're after here is to learn from you, to see, how can we actually, is what works for us actually going to work for you? Is that something that fits with the lifestyle that you have? So we have a specific lifestyle living here in Berlin, and we take the time to cook. And what we are after is going through a testing phase with you to figure out, is that actually going to fit in your lifestyle? Can we actually help you with the ideas that we propose? So, you got something to add?
I just want to add where our recipes are inspired by vegan or vegetarian recipes and Asian recipes, but it's not meant to be the holy Bible thing. You have to stick to the plan. It should inspire you using our recipes and try our recipes, and we'll also give you some advice what you can add or leave or exchange.
Right. I mean, it's a trial and error kind of thing. I think everybody at some point has to figure out what's helping you, what's maybe not helping you, what you should eat more from or less from, and kind of go step by step and see what makes you feel better. I think that's the general rules. Don't treat this as this very strict thing. I think that's important.
Yeah.
But the good news is, I mean, so this is also something that is relatively easy to understand. It's not very complex. It's not like you have to have a vegan lifestyle and that's the only way to live once you have endometriosis. It's quite simple to understand, and so what we're trying to do is kind of give you a starting point to understand the basic principles of what we think we can help with nutrition, and then you can develop that any way you like. So in those 4 starting points that we are going to refer to later, again and again, are quite simple. So first and foremost, it's about boosting your immune system. So I mean, your immune system is the only thing that can actually prevent endometriosis from happening in the first place. So your little endometrium cells that attach to the normal cells, your immune system is what prevents that from happening. So what what we're after is really making sure that your immune system is rock solid and is able to defend that from happening. So that's the pillar number 1, and there are many foods that support your immune system, and there are also many foods that kind of distract your immune system. Let's call it that. So the second thing that we're talking about a lot is balancing out your hormone levels. So for one, to kind of make sure that the period is not going crazy, but also it's a fertility issue. So many foods have an influence on your hormone levels, and that is something that we want to watch out for. So third thing would be reduce everything that is pain and inflammation related. There are foods that actually, increase levels of inflammatory, things, for lack of a better word, in your body. And what we want to make sure is that you eat the right things that reduce everything that has to do with inflammation and pain related things. So basically, this is all about keeping the symptoms, the pain during the period, under control, yeah, to a minimum, really. And the last thing is equally important. Number 4 would be digestion. So anything that would kind of get you bloated or anything, that would certainly not be helpful, with the pain. So we want to make sure that everything runs smoothly down there. So those are the 4 pillars on which this whole nutrition concept lasts. So it's, as you said, it's not about having the moral standpoint of you have to live vegan, you have to do this, you have to eat raw. It's everything that we do. I mean, prior to this endometriosis, we eat everything. I eat meat. I'm a meat lover, of course. I'm a guy, and so milk and cheese and all these good things. I love good food. So Italian food, cheese on it, the more the better, really. But everything that we try out, just to give you an example, dairy is something that you kind of should cut out from your diet, especially cow dairy. There is an explanation, a scientific explanation to that, why this can actually help you with certain risks. And it's something that you try out, see if it helps you. If it does, great. If not, enjoy your milk.
But before we're coming to the diet and the special things to know about the diet, we want to give you a short plan, what you want to do in the next weeks and the next days, and what's the next step.
Right. All right, yeah. I'm gonna do that now. So basically, the first step, like everything else, is we want to get to know you. I think that's this step is entirely optional from your side, but we would really love to kind of get to know you from a perspective of, what's your endometriosis history, and how does it interact with your current life. So what are the things that you currently already do, to kind of cope with the symptoms? And
have you tried a diet?
Right. What other food related issues do you have? Have you figured out that you can, you should not eat this, you should eat more of that? So that is something that we would really like to find out. And so we have a little questionnaire for you that we would like to send to you over the next days. So, and for that, we're going to need your email address. So at the very end of this, we're going to ask for your email address once again. But basically, it would be great if you could send us your email address and name. Either you send us an email to healthyfoodgoodlife@gmail.com. It's quite simple. Or you just send us a message on the forum. That will work just as well. So step 1, get to know each other, kind of get your background and so on. And step 2 then is, before we actually start anything with the diet, what we would like to do is really help you kind of monitor the status quo, in the sense that you don't change your behavior for 2 more weeks, and all you do is you keep a diary. We give you a little sheet to monitor your normal, unchanged eating behavior, really, and keep that in sync with a status, a status update on your symptoms, just to kind of figure out what are the things that you go through on a 2-week basis, so that we have sort of a basis, so that we can improve our current ideas and recipes based on those insights that we gather from this little monitoring.
And that we can give you individual advices how to improve your week and how to improve your fooding habits.
Right, right. I mean, it wouldn't be a great help if we, gave out like crazy ideas of crazy recipes that like take 2 hours to make and they don't fit in your lifestyle. I think I'm a big fan of, well, sometimes I like fancy cooking. When we have people over, that's something that I absolutely enjoy. But that being said, I mean, we also have, our other life, and so we can't spend the entire day in the kitchen. I mean, sometimes I do on weekends, but
yeah, and it's important to say, as we're all women, you don't have to feel like we're judging you, or you shouldn't judge yourself. It's just a monitoring and just find out what is good and what's not good for your body and for your symptoms. And I think it's helping you to write down your symptoms, and so we can figure out which nutrition cause which or which food cause which symptoms.
Right. I think, the key to all this is communication. What we're really keen on is making sure that you don't hesitate to reach out to us, send us an email, send us a message, write on the forum. I think this whole thing is only going to work if we really, really communicate to each other, learn from each other, and kind of help each other. I mean, we have, as I said, we have some basic ideas and we have some insights gathered from reading various books and publications. But that doesn't make us like the sole expert. Many of you probably have dealt with the issue way longer than we have. So that's something that we want to learn from and make sure that this communication goes both ways.
And after this, we want to start with a 12-week diet period. So you can decide if you want to try a zero tolerance diet or if you just want to improve your diet here and there and step by step. But we want to track your diet during the 12 weeks, also with a sheet. So you can compare these with each other. Compare is the right word. Yeah, compare each other, the last sheets and the new sheets, so you see where's your success. Have you reduced your symptoms? Could you reduce your pain during the period? So it's important for us and for yourself to keep tracking this.
Right. I think as I said, we have a ton of at this point. What we did so far is we have the basic principles, those 4 principles that I mentioned, and we have read about the basics, which foodstuffs kind of influence which factors of those 4 pillars that I mentioned. So what we did is we created a bunch of recipes that we can choose from and that we would like to provide you with over these 12 weeks to kind of see how they might help you.
And to inspire you to create maybe your own recipes.
Right, that's also equally important. So it's actually, once you understood the basic principles, you can learn that in probably 10 minutes. But still, I mean, I think it's a nice touch, for us to be able to maybe inspire some more exciting alternatives to try out and try out some new recipes. And it's something that, as I said, goes both ways. And at this point, what we have is kind of in a raw state. So meaning a lot of it is just like text that we've written down that we tried out in the kitchen. And what we're hoping to do over the next weeks is really kind of hone that a little bit, and we started actually creating some recipe videos where we show not only what the food looks like, but how it's made and what the process looks like. And I'm getting better at filming. I'm by no means an expert videographer. I'm actually a photographer. I know how to take pictures, but that doesn't include video normally.
So, and we want to add some videos about food, about especially flowers or the cow milk or whatever.
Right.
So we can give you direct advice about your food and what to leave out and switch in.
Right. Yeah. As I said, step by step, we're gonna, step up our game on how to, show you those recipes. And our hope really is to get this ball rolling, so that this might turn into a YouTube channel or something like that, or into some other publication eventually.
Yeah, so we need feedback after the recipes, or it would help us to get the feedback from you after the recipes. What have you felt about it? Have you got some symptoms, bad or positive? What are your ideas about the recipe? Have you tried it differently and it worked out? You can send us some photos, or if you
definitely, please photos.
Yeah.
Photos are always great. I love those.
And if you have your own recipes which you want to share with others, you can send it to us. We'll try it out and maybe mention some advices as well, or even post it to everyone to get a richer blog or
definitely. This is a group effort. So this is not just us, providing you with ideas. I mean, we have some, but like I said, we're so excited to see your ideas and see your insights. And I think something worth mentioning also is in terms of success, this what you just said, monitoring those little steps in terms of, okay, I felt, I don't know, like less bloated after eating this compared to what I normally eat. That's something that I would like to know about, and that's something that is important for you to understand, and is also something for you to celebrate, in the sense that, this is not about this one step cure that'll get rid of all the symptoms. It's not what this is about. This is about, having those little wins in your daily life, is feeling better, is about maybe needing less painkillers.
Or having a different blood. Yeah, if you have your period, you need blood like normal blood. If you cut in your finger, you don't need old blood. So if you see this in your next periods getting better, changing from looking like old blood to new blood, fresh cutted, then it's a success, because this is how it should be normal.
It's way too much detail.
Sorry,
for me.
But
I'm a guy, but okay, but I'm sure you can totally relate to that.
An easy figured out success, not only reducing the painkillers, but it's a first which you can see.
No, but I mean, it's like you said, it's about celebrating all these little successes, and your energy level. Do you feel less tired? Do you feel more energetic, and all these kind of things? So, I think this is what this is about.
Yeah. So what you want to do next? Send us your email with a name, so we can know who's behind the email address. Then we can send you the first sheet and the questionnaire.
Right, and the way to send us your email address and your name would be either through the form that has a messaging function, or an email to healthyfoodgoodlife. It's one word at gmail.com. All right, so from my perspective, that's all we wanted to say.
If you have questions, write us so we can answer them.
Right. Again, we're really excited to get this started with you, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.